The act of parents abandoning their little daughter is a heart-wrenching and deeply disturbing circumstance that can have profound and lasting effects on the child's life. It is an act of betrayal and neglect that denies the child the love, care, and guidance that they deserve and need for healthy development. When parents abandon their little daughter, they sever the most fundamental bond that should exist between a parent and a child. The child is left feeling abandoned, rejected, and undeserving of love. They may struggle with deep feelings of sadness, loneliness, and insecurity as they question their self-worth and place in the world. Abandonment can also lead to significant emotional and psychological trauma for the child. They may develop attachment issues, trust issues, and struggle with forming healthy relationships in the future. The absence of parental guidance and support can impede their ability to navigate life's challenges, make decisions, and develop a sense of identity. In addition to the emotional impact, the practical consequences of being abandoned can be severe. The child may face financial instability, lack of access to education, and inadequate health care. They may be forced to rely on the goodwill of others or become vulnerable to exploitation and abuse. It is crucial for society to intervene and provide support for children who have been abandoned by their parents. Foster care, counseling, and community programs can help these children heal and rebuild their lives. By offering them stability, love, and a nurturing environment, we can help them overcome the scars of abandonment and give them a chance to thrive. But before we dive into the heart of our tale, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell. By doing so, you'll be the first to know when we release new captivating stories every week. We truly appreciate your support and can't wait to share more incredible adventures with you. Oh, Lex, great. The duty officer got up and waved his hand to Captain Saveleave. Then some girl is calling, she says, hungry. Don't you want to figure it out? What kind of girl? Where is he calling from? Alex was surprised. I don't know. Volodya shrugged his shoulders. The little one, maybe 6 years old, is crying. At first I thought it was a prank. I got angry, but she is all for her own. Well, try the call. You can. Okay, I'll try now. Saveleave turned to leave, but the phone rang again. The duty officer answered and immediately handed the phone to Alexei. Talk to her yourself. She's again. Alexei approached and immediately heard the wheezing of the child. Don't cry, little one. He spoke in a calm, gentle tone. Please tell us what happened to you, and we will definitely help you. My uncle Leosha's name is, what's your name? Vika. Fine. Vika, where are your parents? Dad died, and Mom sleeps all the time. She does not move and does not answer me, but I am afraid and therefore cry, and I also really want to eat. The house smells bad. We will come to you right now. We will bring food. Let's help you. Let's see what's wrong with your mom. State your address where you live. I don't know. Wait, how is it? Let's remember. What street is your house on? On Kozier Street 7, the second entrance, apartment 6. Well, that's a good girl. Alexei was delighted. Wait for us, now we will arrive. We're not at home. Where are you? I don't know. This is a small house and the fence is bad. I wanted to go out, but there is a big angry dog in the yard. I'm afraid of it. Vika, I will come very soon. Very, very soon. The main thing is not to be afraid of anything. Sit quietly by the window. Wait, okay. Well, the girl answered and hung up. Alexei went to his car. He decided to go to the address indicated by Vika and find out from the neighbors what really happened. His guess was not deceived. An elderly woman who lived opposite Vika's apartment said that the Kovalev family was quite decent while Nikolai, Vika's father, was alive. After all, he loved his Lariska very much. Vera Ivanovna explained, and she was such a rogue and walking around besides. I can't understand what Kolya saw in her. He is so positive, kind, considerate. I've known him since childhood. I was friends with his deceased parents, but go and fall in love like a boy. Lariska herself is from the orphanage. He picked her up on the street, took pity on her, went out, fattened her. She is very young, just turned 18, and he has already digested for 27. Well, what do you think, dear man? He needs a family, children, and this is just a flirt. Friends began to drive home, booze, parties to arrange. And what about Nikolai? Did he endure everything? What are you, scandalous? Drunk by the scruff of the house thrown out. Only Lariska raised a cry in defense, which means her drinking buddies, they tell me like brothers. Well, she left with them. And Kolya was looking for her, returning her home. Well, everything seemed to calm down for a month. They lived like this for 3 years, and then Lariska became pregnant. There was talk here that she worked up Vika, and you could believe it. Kolya is fair, even reddish, gray-eyed, and Vika is as black as a jackdaw. Small, sharp-nosed, like a bird. Do you know where she might be now? Vika got through to us at the department and said that she was frightened, hungry, and her mother was sleeping and did not answer her. Maybe she's even dead. Vera Ivanovna, let's think together where the girl could be. This, as I understand it, is some kind of private house. In the yard, there is an angry dog. Where could it be? A private house? Asked the old woman. She thought about it, then shook her head. No, I don't know. Alexei was silent for a while, then continued his questions, trying to find at least some more clue, but nothing came of it. And suddenly, when he, having said goodbye to Nikolai's neighbor, went to the exit, she called out to him. Listen, I once heard that Kolya was looking for Lariska in the area of Old Blackthorns. There are either dakas or private houses. Maybe you'll find something there. Alexei thanked the old woman and drove to the outskirts of the city, about which the old woman spoke. Only now, after a long search, he approached some seemingly abandoned house, but a large mongrel was sitting in the yard. She growled when she saw Alexei, but he boldly opened the gate, heading towards the house. The dog barked, ran off to the side. Alexei took out a bun and several sausages from his bag and threw it to her. The mongrel greedily pounced on the food, and the shaggy head of a thin girl appeared in the window. Alexei's heart was relieved. He found Vika. It was definitely her. The girl threw herself on his neck, sobbing with happiness that everything was over. When she calmed down a bit, Alexei handed her a bottle of drinkable yogurt. Here, Vikulia, you have a drink for now. Then I will feed you as much as you need so that your stomach does not hurt. You haven't eaten in a long time. Stay here. I'll go and see your mom. What room is she in? The girl nodded her head. Alexei went in and immediately went back. It didn't take an expert to figure out that the woman had been dead for more than a day. Alexei dialed the number of the duty unit and called the police squad to the address. It was already dark when Alexei came home. He rang the doorbell. His wife Marina opened it and immediately stepped back in surprise. Her husband was holding a sleeping girl in his arms. She trustingly laid her head on his shoulder and sniffed peacefully, feeling herself under reliable protection. A red-haired mongrel sat at Alexei's feet and looked at the woman with sad eyes. Who is Lyosha, and whose dog is this? Marina asked her husband, letting him into the apartment and helping to lay the child on the sofa. Oh, Marisha, there is such a thing. Let Vika sleep, and you and I will go to the kitchen. I will tell you everything and feed this Barbos, please. Well, Savaliv, you will not get bored. Marina threw up her hands and beckoned the dog, which remained sitting. Sitting at the table, Marina listened to Alexei's story and shook her head. My God, how unfair fate happens to people. The poor little girl went through such a thing, and her mother, you say, is dead. Yes, most likely poisoned by alcohol, the owner of that dacha in prison. I have no idea how they got there. Most likely they have known each other for a long time. But the fact remains, the girls light up the orphanage, and I'm so sorry, you have no idea. Well, why, I imagine. You know everything yourself." Yes, Alex knew everything. He himself met Marina, a graduate of the orphanage, when their outfit was called to the hostel, where a fight broke out. Two guys persistently sought Marina's attention, and although she did not want to communicate with either of them, they decided everything for her. The outfit that arrived took the fighters, and Alexei interviewed the witnesses and Marina. When he figured out everything went to the car, she followed him. "Where are you? You haven't been arrested, have you?" Alyosha was surprised. "I'm with you. I'm afraid to stay here, but you can't with me. I have a job and all that. And do not be afraid of these hooligans. If anything, call." The guys were released a few hours later, and Marina, seeing them heading towards the hostel, ran away from there in one dress and indoor slippers. Alexei left the department late in the evening. It was raining autumn outside, and he, shivering in displeasure, turned up his collar. Umbrella, as always, left at home. Then he saw the figure of a girl who was soaking wet and trembling like a forest in the wind. He immediately recognized Marina and gasped in amazement. "Well, what are you? Why did you come here, even in this form?" "I'm afraid they're in the hostel. They won't leave me alone." "Aren't you afraid of me?" The girl shook her head. "Well, then let's go to my place. At least there will be someone to cook dinner." "Do you know how to cook?" "I can." The girl smiled. On the way, she said that she was brought up in an orphanage, and only a month ago she left there. "I entered the culinary college and began to live in a hostel. At first everything was fine, and then these two began to pester her." "Yes,